So there is a judge order in place that it does say that you are not allowed to video or audio record anybody entering or leaving the premises of the courthouse.
And these are the dumbasses that enforce the law. Welcome to the Freedom Unchained channel. We got a good one for you. And I'm glad I didn't do this one sooner, because James Freeman came out with a update to this video, which I'll add in here for you guys as well, so you can get the whole gist of what's going on at this corrupt court.
It won't take very long for you to be found in contempt if you want to continue with your facial gestures and your size and so forth. You understand that?
But the problem is, the majority of the indoctrinated people, which are everybody that's gone to the indoctrination camps, have no idea what courts are. And how courts work. And what judges are allowed to do. And we'll cover all that as we go through this video. So let's get started.
From public? We can't record from public?
There is a judge's order, like I just said.
He doesn't control the circle.
Yeah.
Right.
He can control inside the building.
Right.
He can put that, and that's an illegal order. So.
No, it's not.
September 7th.
Yes, it is. So that's one thing I'm happy about seeing here, is that people are actually standing up for what law truly is, and the rights that people have, and fighting back against the tyrants that are breaking the law behind the bench. Because the judge have no right to make orders outside of a case that they're on. They don't even have the right to make an order within the courthouse. They don't control the courthouse. They can't make laws within the four walls of a courthouse.
September 7th, 2022. YouTubers Midwest Accountability and Firm Audits went to Howell County, Missouri courthouse to test a judge's order that says that one cannot record from a public sidewalk near the courthouse.
It is 10:08 in the morning.
The story doesn't actually begin here. This is kind of the middle, but this is where I'm going to start because this is where we have the most footage. In this video, Judge Stephen Prevet has multiple people arrested from a public sidewalk and dragged by force into his courtroom. Stephen Prevet is the presiding judge over the 37th Circuit, which covers 4 counties in Missouri, including Howell, Oregon, Shannon, and Carter counties. Missouri Supreme Court Rule 16.04G says that you can't use devices capable of media coverage in the courtroom or the court clerk's office unless specifically authorized. But Judge Stephen Prevet, who appears to have gotten his bar license from a Cracker Jack box, has taken it upon himself to extend this order beyond his courtroom to the entire courthouse. He then verbally extends the order to any public place where the courthouse can be seen from. He then starts ordering men who do not think for themselves and therefore are willing to carry out the work of evil men to start arresting people for recording from the public sidewalks and dragging them into his court.
This could get interesting at any time.
So the one thing James gets wrong is a judge can't even make orders in his own courtroom unless there is a case brought forward, and he can only make orders for that case. That is how courts work. For a court to be formed, you must have a party bring a case forward, so there must be a cause of action. Somebody actually harmed. A judge just can't sit on a bench, call a room a courtroom, make people believe that's a court, and start issuing orders. That is not how this works.
Here we go.
What's up, guys?
Who's the main guy?
The main guy.
The main guy.
Individuals.
Who's the one giving the orders? Because we're only order followers. So, you know, we only believe there's a hierarchy. So who's the honcho, the head honcho here we can talk to?
All of us, probably.
Let's all gather up so I can find it.
We can hear you.
Yeah, we're good.
You guys can come over here so I can, or do I need to talk separately?
First off, name and badge number.
Mendenhall 278. So,
What's your name and badge number?
Clark 244.
Clark 244.
Thank you.
What was it?
Miller 260.
Okay.
Okay. So there is a judge order in place that does say that you are not allowed to video or audio record anybody entering or leaving the premises of the courthouse.
From public? We
Anyone-
can't record from public.
There is a judge's order, like I just said.
He doesn't
Unconstitutional
control the
judge's
Yeah.
order.
Right.
He can control inside the building, but
Well-
he can put that, and that's an illegal order. So
He cannot control inside the building.
It is.
we've looked it up. We've looked it up.
Especially with the juvenile division court going on.
Doesn't matter. Anybody in public
Anything we can see
is
in
subject to
public.
recordings.
Right. So,
What happened to the Constitution?
Yeah.
And if not, we can go
Amen.
over there
What happened to the Constitution?
record anything we can see. This,
would you guys care to do that?
Huh?
Would you guys care to do that?
Right, this is the same.
Yeah, it's the same thing. That's what we're saying is.
It's
the same thing.
The judge has no jurisdiction outside of a courtroom.
Right. But
That is unconstitutional.
so
He has no jurisdiction outside of a case he has jurisdiction over. A room or a building has nothing to do with a court. A court is not a building or a room.
You swore an oath to the Constitution.
you gonna let me talk?
A court room or a court building is a venue where you hold court.
I don't know. Are you going to say anything that's worth listening to? We want to hear you defending and upholding the oath to the Constitution.
Right. I don't have a
Not
problem with
the
you guys.
judges.
We don't have a problem with
Just
good
'cause he's a
officers.
judge
What we have a
doesn't
problem
mean he
with
creates a
is
law.
oath breakers, tyrants, people that are supporting these unconstitutional
Hey, buddy,
orders.
people coming out.
That's what we have a problem with.
Show me. Behind you. Car.
Oh, he's right.
So, I mean, if you guys are willing to honor your oath,
We are.
Yeah,
The
we're just
judge
willing to
has
stand
a
here. I mean, we're not
presiding
trying to go in the
order
building.
Right now.
presiding order for in the courtroom,
Anyone entering or exiting.
Board
it's
entering
unconstitutional,
or
guys.
There's no way. And we do this all across the country.
Do you?
Yeah, seriously.
This is unconstitutional. And you guys
And
are
that's-
enforcing that, and you're going to be
It's a
complicit
judge's
in that
order.
too.
He didn't pass law.
Right.
Who
So
holds your
it's-
bond?
so here's the thing. If
In
the
this
judge-
day and age, right?
So if the judge decides to have you in front of him for contempt of court, you'd be willing to go in front of him and plead your case today?
For there to be contempt of court, there must be a court case, because there isn't court unless there is a case. You can't have contempt of a court building or a court room or the public servant that's supposed to be serving the public as a neutral arbitrator of a court case. That is not how this works. The judge just can't, like once again, sit behind a bench and make unconstitutional orders.
We're not
For
even in
what?
the courtroom.
Contempt
to
of
be
court?
Contempt of court.
Yeah.
Right.
We're not in the courtroom.
But
so
but
the
the
contempt
judge's
of court
order
won't be-
says anyone
the
entering or
contempt
exiting
of,
and I'm sure you filmed it already. The order.
Yeah, there's no law that backs that up though.
Right.
Just because the
Yeah,
judge issued
1604
something.
or subparagraph G has nothing to do with outside the courtrooms if you read it. It just says
Entering or
courtrooms
exiting
and
as
circuit
well.
clerk.
No, 1406 says nothing about entering and exiting courthouse.
Okay.
But and that's what we're trying to argue is the fact is that he's trying to use that law to create something that he is not allowed to do.
Okay. So
Because
He can do it inside
only
there.
His 3 courthouses that he has
Is the only one that does it.
is
He's the only
one
judge that does
other
this.
than these other counties around here that he's not part of.
right.
I doubt he's the
So
only
Contempt
judge
of
that
court
does
is in the
this.
courtroom, not outside in
Yeah.
public.
No, you can be held in contempt
That's
of
this
court
guy.
outside the courtroom.
You don't have no recording in his jurisdiction.
You can be held in contempt of court outside of a courtroom if there's a court order for a court case that you violate, but there must be a case.
Well, we got him on video saying that we could come over to his county and record all we want, and that's fine. So what's the problem with
Except in
one
the
county
courtroom.
over, an adjacent county,
That-
and he's
that's
a presiding official?
Right. So is this one. So it's up to different judges.
No, that's not how the
Not-
Constitution
not
works.
outside the
Yeah, you
courthouse.
can't do that.
You guys
That-
read the Constitution?
I'm over here.
I love that. Have you guys read the Constitution? It's not in the Constitution to begin with. The Constitution is just there to protect the true law of the land, which is common law, which is an unwritten law.
Dealing with the presiding judge of this courthouse right here is asking us for you guys.
Yeah, we'll see if he wants to
Not
have it in
demanding.
front of him.
It's already put an order into place.
That's That's not a lawful
That's-
order.
They're going in.
In the
going
courtroom.
Yeah, in the courthouse, in the
And,
courtroom, in adjacent.
They're going in to see if the judge wants us in front of him, guys.
Of that law.
We don't want to go to the courtroom.
There's
come
no,
out here and talk
there's
to
no
them.
law underneath that, what he wrote.
This ain't a courtroom.
There's nothing on that one.
This
Now,
is
the
not
first
law.
one that he has over at all,
If he,
it says
if him and the sheriff
1604.g.
want to come out and talk to us,
And he
fine.
tries to state a paragraph.
We've asked you guys.
That's fine.
I asked you politely, did I?
Right, yeah.
I ask you politely. Please politely let us violate your rights.
What-
That's what I don't
So
understand. We're in
what
public.
is the difference if I'm standing here and if I'm over there with the telephotic lens? So
No, that's
Look
what
at the
the
Constitution on it.
Come out here with all four of them.
and what is the course of action if we don't?
I mean, we'll go and talk to the judge about that.
So nobody wants to honor their oath today? That's what I thought.
We all rule
Whole
followers.
life.
Terror.
Okay, I'm gonna go over there and record.
Who wants to go?
No, I'm not going in.
No, I'm
No,
telling you right now, he's going to do what he did to JC.
What?
They came outside, took his phone, arrested him, and brought him in front of the judge.
Yeah.
And then what? They held him for 24 hours? Huh?
No,
he-
no, I think the judge told him that if he didn't leave at that time, he was going to be held in contempt of court.
So under
that's
threat.
when he left. That's when he walked out under threat of contempt of court.
Seems like one of these guys is kind of getting the gist of how law works. He has a little bit more work to do, like we all do. We all have a lot to learn. There's only a few out there that I truly believe, truly understand, and grasp this whole concept of American law, aka common law.
Yeah, like I say, it's kind of hard to believe. You can stand over there and
That, what's the difference?
You gonna try and wrap it up?
And this is public.
Back up more on the sidewalk.
Right.
It says nowhere over here. They want us to go
And
over
that's
there
what we're trying to
and
fight.
film.
You know, it's not like we're...
We can't film right here on this sidewalk, people coming and going. They want us over there. They want us across the street. I don't know, guys. Get arrested, it'll be a major lawsuit for sure.
I feel like these views aren't synced anymore here. No one's walking in this one. A couple people are walking in and out on this view.
Right. There's cameras all around out here. Now, it's not going to change no matter where I stand, guys.
In their cars, even.
The judge wants to come out and talk to us.
Yeah, good luck with that one. The judge is never going to come out and talk to you. Judges are too coward to try to enforce their orders in person. They have their minions do that. That is the funniest thing, to think that a judge is ever going to come out and have a conversation with you, unless he is behind the bench where he can act as judge and his minions will enforce what he says instantly.
Well, hey, I'm getting a wide angle. Hey, Howell County office building right across the street here, guys. There's a state representative here. Anybody want to call him? Put the number in the chat.
So the presiding judge has invited you inside the courthouse if you would like to talk to him.
Over this?
Invited you.
You're willing to come inside.
No, because I really don't know once we're inside how to deal with it. I know. Legally, yes.
Hey, the judge wants to know if you'd be willing to go to the court and talk to him.
Only if we can record.
in the courtroom.
It's our proceeding, right?
Right.
If we can record the interaction, yeah.
Okay. Well, he invited you in there to hear what you guys are pleading, but I mean, I doubt he'd let you record inside a courtroom.
Invited?
Yes.
Come to my courtroom where there's no case and I have no authority to make orders, and you can beg and plead what you believe, and we will see if I will change my unconstitutional order and call off my minions.
I mean, if he's going to let us record our interaction, then yes, I'd be more than happy to go in.
Okay, I don't know if he'll allow that, but he did say that he'd like to hear what you
I mean, we're not here to cause trouble.
Right.
We're here to flex on our rights and to let people know that ain't right. I mean, do you think that's right? I mean, honestly, that they can the order that says they can.
Well, I think the order
determine what we do out on the public.
So I think the order was put in place for victims. They're in an emotional state when they're coming in or out,
Mm-hmm.
or when they're in the courtroom. Not everyone wants to be here, and when they're victims in a
Let me just pull this back a little bit.
when they're victims in a case, you know, if it is a special case, you know, they don't want to be here. They were victims in it.
Right.
And they get filmed, and it's just added stress to the whole ordeal.
But at the same time, where are we standing right now?
Right.
In public, there's no expectation of privacy in public, right?
Correct.
Okay, and that's been established in court cases a mile long, right?
The only thing is though, I mean, this is the courthouse's property.
It's public property,
The courthouse's property is.
taxpayer funded, public property, right?
Right.
Okay.
But I mean, the judge just said if you want to come in and he'd like to hear what you guys are.
I mean, like I said, if he'll allow us to record and document our experience, I would have no problem with that.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter if it's a victim, if there's a victim, or a perpetrator, the public has the right to see all of the proceedings of every court case that is brought into the public, because that is what a court is a public venue for the public to decide who is right or wrong.
I'll see what he says. I mean, if it's just you guys in the courtroom,
I don't see what the issue would be.
I don't either, but I don't know. It'd be up to him. I'll see what he says.
I mean, in all honesty, that's the end game. You know, have a conversation
Right.
and talk to people.
Yeah.
Show me states being arrested, guys.
You're being summoned.
Okay.
Now
I
they're being
understand.
summoned.
What does that mean legally? They have to go?
Yeah.
Really? The judge can just tell you to go to. Oh, I didn't
No,
know.
They
you can't.
think they can, yes.
But he said everybody out here is being summoned to his courtroom.
So, like, we have to go now? Are we allowed to bring this in? Because he says no cameras.
What's going on?
Are you wanting to bring that in, dude?
Judge, this
Well,
is
yeah.
summons for everybody to come in.
240.
He's now summoning people without a case in front of him. So once again, acting unconstitutionally, trying to enact powers that he has only when there's a case before him. And that has to do with the case that's before him.
It's out here and go to see him right now.
Why? I was over there. I moved over there.
I don't even have a camera.
And she don't even have a camera.
Asking about their cameras.
But I'm okay.
Can they bring them in? Judge said take them all into custody. Yeah.
I was just over there, man. You called me back over here.
What are you going to do with my camera? Hey, will you take my camera?
You guys understand what's going on? The
Nope,
judge's
I don't
request?
The judge gave the order, and arrest them all, bring them in front of me.
Understand.
Okay,
I
the
do
judge
not.
is summoning
These damn criminals.
you guys for the court. That means
Oh,
that
sorry, bud.
you can go by yourself down there. All right, we're trying to make this as peaceful as possible.
No, you're not.
Me and him was a
John Doe in the comments there. No warrant? Oh, you think they need warrants now? They actually need to follow the Constitution to arrest people? Oh, no. They've been tyrants for far too long.
Off the street till I got called back over here.
I'm just, like I said, the judges. Is there anyone else here that
She can't.
he summoned you to court?
Ooh, watch yourself.
Ma'am, are you going to go downstairs or? It's up to you. If you're going to get your summons to court.
How was she summoned? She shouldn't have been summoned.
You guys
She
are
wasn't
allowed
videotaped.
I love her. I don't see no summons. How are you summons when there's no document? There needs to be a document for you to be summons. So she's got a little bit of a grasp of what needs to be done or how court works.
Together, that's exactly what's going on, okay? I've already told you guys you're being summoned to court.
Just gonna make sure you
Oh,
have
you're
a
fine. No, you're
knife
fine.
on you.
You're fine.
Any
Are you
knives,
not gonna
guns?
you're not
cancel
mistaken.
a class?
I guess their idea of having people summoned to court is give an unconstitutional order to a tyrant police officer, and he'll gladly go ahead and carry out that order.
She wasn't recording.
That I'm taking my recording device or I'm not effing
My wallet.
I just showed up just now. Okay. And I'm not
That
saying
might be a little
coming in or
harder.
out of the court. Okay, that's something.
You might have to put it heels.
I don't know how
It's got a magnet on the front. Just pull that whole piece off.
Wow. No constitution.
I wasn't KY3 reporter, so.
Round them all up. If they're even walking past, round those ones up too. If they're just coming into the courtroom just for their own case, round them up.
No
As long
constitution.
as you guys will all have your stories. I'm not saying anybody's.
We're all getting arrested. We're all getting summons.
Oh, well, he came up and asked me that we were invited in to talk to the judge.
No, that was the summonses.
Yeah, that's just what they do to try to be polite right before they violate your rights. Because they're just hoping that you'll allow them to violate your rights with your own free will.
They told us we could go across the street and record,
What's the difference? I don't
and
understand.
said we'd be fine. And he walked over there and told me we were all being summoned to go see the judge. So looks like we're going in one at a time. This lady, she knows the judge.
Yeah? What'd she say?
She dated him one time, went out on one date with him, I guess back in school. That lady there, she owns one of these businesses over here, and none of the courthouse people are supposed to be parking in the circle.
Is an arrest then? Or is it just a summons?
It's supposed to be a summons, but they put cuffs on them. So
Show me state and firm just got summons in front of the judge, guys.
Are you guys not going to go there?
Huh? He said he was going to go ask the judge. I have no problem going in and talk to
Like
him.
I said, guys.
If we can record our interaction
Right.
and talk to him,
So
that's the end game.
Let me explain this to you guys, okay? This whole filming thing, okay, I have you guys filming me all the time, okay? When I'm on a traffic stop, I notice it, okay? I don't have a problem with it. And actually, I don't have a body cam, so actually, sometimes you guys could probably help me, right?
Well, we would if we saw something, going down.
Right. Well, you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
What is it? Okay, so tell me this. What is the difference between where we're standing now and 50 feet over there?
That's something you have to deal with the judicial system. If you think you're being wrongful here, there's process for this.
Right.
The process is you make corrupt tyrant cops arrest you, and then you sue the fuck out of them.
There is no...
In public is the Constitution.
Did I say anything about recording in public? I said you were summoned to
You're
court.
working for a
You're
tyrant,
summoned.
a treasonist.
This is what I told you, okay? I didn't say anything about the recording. I said you guys are being summoned to court. That means that you're getting subpoenaed to court right this second, okay? And he's going to verify that for you guys because you wanted him to go down and verify that, right?
I wanted him to see if we could go talk to him and be able to record our interaction
Okay.
for our records.
Okay. So, you guys understand why I'm not?
No,
I get you say.
I
you're
understand
saying
what
it's
you're saying,
there's a
but I don't agree.
constitutional right to film in public places. I agree with
Constitutional,
public places. Right.
And you swore an oath to that
Right.
Constitution. Why aren't you upholding that? The judge's order is unlawful.
So let me ask you this: am I telling you to quit recording your own? Am I?
No,
not
you're
saying
telling me to move, or else I'll be arrested.
No, I didn't tell you you were going to be
The others
arrested.
did.
I say you were going to be arrested?
You didn't per
well,
se.
Don't put that.
But your comrades did.
I didn't say that to you. I said you were being summoned to court.
We're not here to cause trouble. We're not here.
I didn't say
to,
you were.
To
I didn't
what,
say you were.
What we are doing He's trying to highlight the good and expose the bad.
Right.
If you're a good cop, there should be no problem with a camera.
Do I have a problem with the cameras pointing at me right now?
I don't know. I can't read your mind. You say you don't, but you're out here enforcing a judge saying that he wants to summons us to court when we've done nothing illegal.
That's something you had to take up with the judicial system, though. That's not something that I had.
You don't have officers.
Man, these law enforcement officers really have no idea how this system works. You have to take that one up to the judicial system. Okay, how do you fight a unconstitutional law or an unconstitutional order without violating it? The first step to challenging it is violating it.
Your discretion?
If a judge issues a court order, unless I want to be violated for a
What court order? We haven't seen one.
Okay.
Yeah, there is no court order.
Well, I'll let them determine what they're going to do with it. Okay. And we'll go from there.
Okay, and your name and badge number?
Deputy Bruno, 215.
What?
215.
215?
I work
Bruno?
for Howell County Sheriff's Office.
Howell County. Okay.
Yep.
How do they summons without a name anyway?
Good question.
That's what I want to know. How do you issue a court summons without a name?
I'm not gonna.
What you do is you give an order to a law enforcement officer that doesn't know the law and just willing to follow any order, constitutional or unconstitutional, moral or unmoral, and send them out there to arrest everybody.
I have this legal argument with you guys, okay?
Well,
Right?
I mean, you're enforcing legal stuff. So
have I made any actions?
No, I'm just saying.
I came out here being respectful to you guys.
I'm not being disrespectful to you either.
You guys are being so sport. All right.
Just having a conversation. That's all we're doing.
Is that right? Like, am I telling you? Have I done what I just said, or am I lying? I come out here. I didn't tell you to stop recording. I didn't tell you get your butt inside or you're going to go to jail. I said you're being summoned to court. Judge wants you down in courtroom number 4. Okay. I'm not physically making you do anything.
Right.
Am I? I'm not doing that. Okay? However, I'm just doing like the judge wants to supposedly subpoena you guys to court. Okay? So that's up to you guys. If you obey that, it's not up to me. If they issue an order down here, that's on them. Okay? I'm just telling you what was told to me.
The other two guys, they under arrest or are they just going into the courtroom?
I have no idea. I'll have to.
They put cuffs on them and then under arrest. Oh wait, no, that's what I call the Terry stop.
That's detainment.
I'll have to.
That is arrest.
I'll have to figure that out. I don't know what to do.
If you are not free to go, you are under arrest.
But guys, I'm gonna go back in here. Okay.
You're stopped. You're arrested. That is the definition of arrest. Is
right
to
there.
stop.
Yep. There's a camera there.
Right
There's
there.
one right here behind the tree.
How did they not make you guys go in?
They asked me if I wanted to go in. I said I'll go in if I can record my interaction.
Well,
There's a camera.
The guy told me, ma'am, you do know you've been summoned by the judge. And I said, sure, I know, Steve. I'll go talk to I walked in and he goes, Tony, are you part of the First Amendment group? And I said, no, I just walked over to see what was going on. And
What's the judge's name?
Prevet. I met him in college.
Steve Prevet?
Yeah, I met him in like 1980.
Steve Prevet, guys.
But
Steve Prevet. He's the tyrant.
I'm friends with him, but he said, oh, then you can go. And I thought, well, I kind of want to hear this. So I sat there a while, and then he said, Tony, you can go. So I just thought I better go. But technically,
So what do you
thought I better go before they threatened to arrest me?
Is
Sound like
he?
they're gonna throw him in jail, or
he asked me to leave before I got to hear that part.
Is he not a reasonable guy, or?
Obviously not.
I've always known him to be a very nice guy, but I don't know legally what is,
Yeah.
someone mentioned on chat that he's retiring the end of the week.
Next time we'll be locked up. For what? Under what? Under what?
You guys have to leave.
What statute?
Like under what
We
law?
weren't even going to argue it. He was being a dick. He did not like me in the courtroom, so.
He didn't like you in the courtroom.
No, if I said
well,
one
I told
more
him I
word,
would go in there if they let me record the proceeding.
You were supposed to. You were too.
We were.
Yeah, everybody.
So if these two guys walk away, that's a failure on their part for not standing their ground and forcing them to truly arrest them. So then you would have a cause of action against this tyrant.
All
I
five
just
of
want
us
like,
were
how do these people? Others not
I was trying to figure out how
He
you
made
got
all
caught up in it. Yeah. I was
He
like,
said, ma'am, you do realize you've been summoned by the judge. So I'm like, okay.
Wow, guys. So I guess I was supposed to be in there with it.
Very good. Well, now I get the juvenile thing. That makes
Go outside. Not in there.
legally.
No, legally you can.
they come. Oh, we got an extra tyrant. A woman tyrant.
Not you. Do you care?
If I can record the...
He said no, you can't record.
He's
just going to tell you the same thing that he told the other ones.
Why can't you say it on recording?
Because there's no phones allowed in the courthouse.
Now that...
Because we don't want them to catch our criminal conversation, our criminal threats. But stay tuned.
What is the statute that allows us with...
Listen, I don't want to put you in cuffs. I'd rather you just go walk down there. Walk down there, talk to the judge, and plead your case.
I think he's just wanting to talk to you guys.
I understand that, but you guys got to understand where we're coming from. That please not stand behind me.
Going for the judge and plead.
You guys got to understand where we're coming from. That we're trying to get you guys to uphold your oath. You know what I mean? And for something that's unconstitutional like that, like we're in public. We're not breaking any laws. What was the difference between here and 50 foot across the street, where if I had a big zoom lens, you know what I mean?
There's an active order that
orders are not laws, though.
Prohibits anybody from videotaping people coming and going from juvenile.
And what was your name and badge number?
Justin Riley, 251.
Riley, 251. And you, sir?
Box 228.
Box 228. All right, I'm gonna go inside and talk to the judge, guys. Walk in on my own, they're not gonna put me in cuffs, so.
Every single person was forced into that courtroom from a public sidewalk under threat of arrest. Inside of the courtroom, they were told by Judge Steve Privet that if they recorded from a public space again, that they would be arrested and held in contempt of court for up to 30 days in county jail. Everything that was said inside of that courtroom was audio recorded, but all of these individuals are now being represented by an attorney who has asked that we not release the audio recording of what happened inside the courtroom just yet. Judge Steve Privet needs to be disbarred and disrobed, and any case that he's ever presided over needs to be reviewed. The entire Howell County Sheriff's Department needs to look at history and stop obeying orders without thought. R.J. Rummel, an American political scientist and professor, coined the word democide. Democide is defined as the murder of any person or people by their own government, including genocide, politicide, and mass murder. Democide doesn't necessarily eliminate an entire culture, but rather groups within a country that the government feels need to be eradicated for political reasons and due to claimed future threats.
Waco? Anyone?
R.J. Rummel's research shows that you're 6 times more likely to be killed by your own government than any private criminals or even wars with other nations combined. The #1 cause of
that's believable.
Murder in the 20th century was, quote, good men, unquote, obeying the orders of those they perceived to be authority. Most murders committed in the 20th century were committed in the name of the laws created by the current rulers, not in violation of it. Very few of these murders were actually committed by the rulers or political figures themselves. Rather, they were able to order other men to do it for them. Men who had abandoned what makes them human, the ability to think, act, and choose for oneself. An evil man
losing the ability to decide what is moral and immoral for yourself.
And does not need a lot of other evil men in order to accomplish his dirty work. History shows that he's actually better off recruiting good men who believe that obedience is a virtue and who are willing to abandon their own conscience in order to obey.
The judge said take them all into custody.
The
Nope,
judge is
I don't
requesting-
understand.
Okay,
I
the
do
judge
not.
is summons you guys for the court. That means that
Sorry, bud.
you can go by yourself down there. All right, we're trying to make this as peaceful as possible.
Just like every other evil man in history, this man has no power unless the enforcers are willing to obey his every command.
So, here we go right here. We got inside recordings, and it's good. So let's listen to that.
Filed September 16th, 2022 in the 37th Circuit Court of Missouri, at the request of the Howell County Sheriff. All orders regarding filming in or around Howell County Courthouse are withdrawn. The sheriff shall enforce security as he deems appropriate. So ordered this 16th day of September 2022, signed by the far less than honorable Steve Privet.
So, my unconstitutional, already null and void, because he can't make orders that has no case behind them, or to make orders in, is withdrawn.
2, signed by the far less than honorable Steve Prevet.
It won't take very long for you to be found in contempt if you want to continue with your facial gestures and your size and so forth. Do you understand that? Do you understand me?
I understand that you can do as you please in your courtroom, yes.
Okay, well,
I understand that you can make tyrants with little plastic badges that think they're doing moral things which are not moral, violate people's rights because you don't want someone to make a face gesture in a courtroom. That's not your courtroom.
also make orders that you're not to videotape people coming to and from the courthouse or make videotapes in the courthouse. Do you understand that?
How far away from the courthouse can you do this?
Anyone that's coming to or from. I don't care how far you are. If you're videotaping someone coming to or from, conceivably you could use a telescope and videotape them from a mile away. If you did, you would be in contempt of this court's order. Do you understand that?
No, I don't understand, but I hear what you're saying.
Okay.
Love it. No, I don't understand why you're being a tyrant. I can hear the words that are coming out of your mouth, but you're a tyrant and they make no sense because you have no rights to do what you're trying to do.
You don't understand what I said? Which part of what I said do you not understand?
The part where you swore an oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States and the state of Missouri.
Okay. I'm not going to debate very much with you, but that oath applies to everyone, not just you. And I have a duty to all of the citizens, not just those who want to trample on the rights of others.
I'm surprised he didn't say, well, this has nothing to do with the Constitution. But instead he goes ahead and says, blaming them for trampling on people's rights, while he's trampling on everyone's rights.
Abide by the order. Just those who want to trample on the rights of others. Abide by the order.
Only because you're going to put me in jail if I don't.
I will cite you in contempt if you violate the order. You've been brought into open court and made aware of the fact that that order exists. Now we'll talk about it just a little bit, and I'll talk to you guys about it. Yes, I do have an oath that I took to uphold and defend the Constitution. I suspect I take that more seriously than you do, Miss.
We're standing in the public. There is no expectation of privacy.
The courthouse is a private space. It's not a public space.
If I'm standing on public and videotaping that way,
you take that up with the higher court, and we'll... Basically, my inquiry of you is, why do you have a burning desire to take videotapes of people coming to and from juvenile court or adult abuse court?
It's not the people I'm interested in recording, Your Honor.
Well, why are you
videotaping officials in the course of their duty?
Well,
highlight the good and expose the bad.
Well, we can't have that, because we wouldn't be able to break the law and steal your rights right in front of you if you could record it and teach other people by releasing it. And it might be used against us in a court of law to hold us accountable for our tyrannical actions and our unlawful actions.
Guys, earlier this week, I showed you a video collaboration from a number of different YouTubers in Missouri that went to the Howell County Courthouse to challenge a judge's unconstitutional, unlawful orders, saying that they can't record on a public sidewalk. All of the YouTubers and photographers were dragged into the courtroom by Howell County Sheriff's deputies and told by the judge that if they continued to exercise their constitutionally protected rights, that he would have them thrown in jail. If you guys missed that video, there's a card in the top right corner of your screen that you can click right now to go see that and then come see the update. You guys may have noticed that I didn't actually post the Google listing or the link to the Facebook page for the Howell County Sheriff's Department. While I do make a lot of mistakes, I actually did this intentionally, and the reason was because I had already spoken with the elected sheriff, Brent Campbell, for about 30 minutes. And he did seem to me to be genuinely concerned with what was going on and genuinely determined to fix it. I believed that the system that we're forcefully subjected to was supposed to be one of checks and balances, where there were 3 different branches of government that didn't just always agree with each other and collaborate and conspire to violate people's rights, but on the contrary would check one another, and that when one branch was wrong, hopefully at least one of the others would refuse to play along. After speaking with the sheriff, it became perfectly clear to me that even though his deputies made some big mistakes that day, he was not going to continue to play along with the judge because he knew it was wrong. Saying no to someone that you perceive to be authority, though, is far easier said than done. and I did want to at least try to give him a few days to get it done in as diplomatic a way as possible. So the reason I didn't post the link to his public information is because I did believe he was going to do the right thing whether 10,000 people called or not. The day after I posted the video showing what happened, there was a new sign on the door in place of the unconstitutional judge's order. Filed September 16th, 2022 in the 37th Circuit Court of Missouri, at the request of the Howell County Sheriff. All orders regarding filming in or around Howell County Courthouse are withdrawn. The sheriff shall enforce security as he deems appropriate. So ordered this 16th day of September 2022, signed by the far less than honorable Steve Prevet. I'm going to make some assumptions about what happened here based on the verbiage, but keep in mind that these are only my assumptions and I do not have proof that this is how it went down. To me, it looks as if the sheriff tried to reason with the judge, but that the judge was unreasonable. It looks to me as if the sheriff may have told the judge that he's no longer going to do his dirty work for him, and that if he wants his unconstitutional orders enforced, he was going to have to find somebody new to do it. I assume that this is the only reason he would say that this was done at the request of the Howell County Sheriff, rather than saying that he decided to rescind his order. If I am wrong in my assumption, Steve Prevet is welcome to reach out to me and let me know. He can get my cell phone number from the sheriff. Just keep in mind, Stevie boy, if you do call me, you are to refer to me as Your Majesty, and I will refer to you as my bitch, because it's about time that you're treated the way that you treat others. Which brings me to my next point, that we are not entirely sure if this is over yet, because Stevie Boy is the presiding judge over the entire district, which covers 4 counties. Is this order only overturned in Howell County because the local sheriff refuses to enforce tyranny, or is the order rescinded for the entire district and all 4 counties? I put links in the description to the channels that you can subscribe to for the earliest updates on what's going on with this case. I want to publicly say thank you to Sheriff Brent Campbell for standing up and refusing to enforce unconstitutional orders. I know a lot of my audience won't agree with me because the deputies did mess up in the first place, but I like to leave room for redemption. We all make mistakes, but it takes a lot of courage to admit that a mistake was made and move forward in a positive direction. I do not, however, feel that there's any redemption for this far from honorable, despicable Judge Steve Prevet. The fact that the presiding judge has such a gross misunderstanding of basic liberties is disturbing to say the least. But being a completely ignorant and arrogant fool in and of itself is not necessarily dangerous. However, this particular ignorant, arrogant fool has the power to strip someone of their liberty and have them thrown in a cage. There is absolutely no acceptable remedy for this situation other than for him to be disrobed and disbarred, and for him to carry out the rest of his pathetic existence outside of public service. Last, but certainly not least, I want to give a huge thank you to you, the audience, those of you who see these stories and actually make phone calls, send emails, and reach out to these public officials letting them know that you are fed up. In most of these cases, me publishing a video alone does absolutely nothing. The changes don't actually come until hundreds or even thousands of you guys speak up. Every single person out there that picked up a phone or sent an email, most of the time, results like this are because of you. Thank you.
I don't care how far you are, if you're videotaping someone coming to or from, conceivably you could use a telescope and videotape them from a mile away. If you did, you would be in contempt of this court's order. Do you understand? Telescope.
So yes, all the collaborative work that everybody's putting in, I believe is doing a change. We have a lot more work to do, like help people understand what a fucking court is. And it's not a fucking court building or a room, but it's a non-physical thing that comes together once a man brings a case forward, when he has a true cause of action and not a made-up violation made up by tyrants. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. Hope you guys learned something. Hope to do more of these like this. If you like videos like this, let me know in the comments. Leave a comment. Let's get a conversation started. Smash the like button. Share this video around. Like always, I'm going to leave you guys in the love and the light of the one infinite creator. Peace.